Q is for A Quiet Sun. They're an early 70s band, three-piece band. Two of them went on to form very influential bands. Phil Manzanera went on to be Roxy Music, and Bill McCormack, Matching Mill, with Robert Wyatt, a very close friend of ours. So it seemed appropriate that we chose them.
We got together at school, really, at Dulwich College, didn't we? And formed a band, which was called...
Pooh and the Ostrich Feather.
Which wasn't... I didn't think of that title.
No. But it could have been called Wing Commander Nixon and the Wheat-Eating Bees, but we chose Pooh and the Ostrich Feather for some reason.
The Ostrich Feather?
The Ostrich, yes. Yes. Which possibly was a mistake. I think we could have gone places with as Wing Commander.
We wanted to be a mixture between the early Soft Machine, Tony Williams' Lifetime, and the Velvet Underground, plus a whole bunch of psychedelia thrown in. Eccentric British music. Bill's parents knew Robert Wyatt's parents, and every day after school he would walk home to West Norwood past Robert, where Robert Wyatt and the embryonic Soft Machine lived. So he'd pop in for a cup of tea, and come back and say the next day and say, they're playing with the Pink Floyd at the Roundhouse, or they're going to release a single. And so we had it the next day. It was the closest association we had to a pop star. At school, we formed a band, and the year after we left school, which was 1970, very conveniently, we formed Quiet Sun. It's very much a band created of that time. Everything was much smaller in London at the time. There weren't so many bands. Everything was very Heath Robinson. You just had to cobble together things. There were no computers. It was really a sort of band of musos that hung around near to where we are in Notting Hill and sort of scraped around doing things, trying to make it.
This is wonderful Radio London, where you're hearing things.
Hitting 16 in 1967 was exactly the time when John Peel started broadcasting on Radio London.
I just completely did away with the format. I didn't run the news, didn't run any of the ads, didn't do the weather, and just started playing all these LPs and stuff. And I used to read other people's poetry fantastically badly, and talk a lot about mice and fairies and, just general hippie stuff.
He was the coolest person, and, he seemed to be hobnobbing with everybody, from the Beatles. Everybody loved John Peel. It was absolutely fantastic. So, there was a buzz at school. People who were into music would come in every day and say, did you read the International Times? Or did you listen to the radio programme last night? It was just absolutely essential. It was so vital to our core. You'd go to gigs and he would be there. You'd go to the big events that were happening where all the sort of famous pop, the Beatles and the Stones, were seen in the audience, or whether it was Alexander Pally or Christmas on Earth. He'd be introducing the people. So it's like a legend. They had this competition on Top Gear called Rockatunity Knocks between John and John Walters. And so you had to send your tapes in. So we got very excited by this, and we sent our tape in, and we didn't win it. And we came second. And this band called Henry Cow, who were a band based in Cambridge, won it. And we listened to them after they'd done the session. We thought, oh, bloody hell, they're a bit like us. They're really good. I think a week later, Bill joined Robert Wyatt's group, Matching Mill. A month later, I joined Roxy Music, and Charles Haywood went on to formed this band called This Heat, which turned out to be one of John's favourite bands, and they did sessions for John, Matching Mole with Robert Wyatt did sessions for John, I did sessions with Roxy for John. So even though Quiet Sun never did a John Peel session, as individuals we ended up doing lots. But because of Roxy and Roxy's success, by about 1975, I was allowed to do a solo album, because Brian Ferry had done solo albums, he, had been doing them, Andy Mackay. So I booked some time in Basing Street Studios, and without telling the management or the record company, I secretly recorded the Quiet Sun album that we'd wanted to record, but been turned down. The look on the face of my management and the record company when I said, oh, by the way, here's the solo album, oh, here's this other album, Quiet Sun, and I said, oh no, what's this? They were slightly miffed that I'd done it under the radar. It turned out really, really good, and it bizarrely, I don't know, 36 years later, we brought out a book for crazy old people. We are a book, like 52-page book version. It sells more, and it's more popular now than it ever was before. Don't ask me why.